What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so we're 8 days away from Election Day 2024, when I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least 170 million Americans will go to the polls, including early voting, and choose the next president of the United States, including members of Congress, governors, state legislators, and also vote on referendums as well as key ballot initiatives. But of course, the race that many people or most people are focused on is the presidency, where we have two wretched choices between billionaire bloviating idiot Donald Trump and 304 Queen Kamala Harris. Michelle Obama, one of the top Democratic barons, realizing that the empty suit that is Kamala Harris just cannot seal the deal, spoke at a rally at Kalamazoo, Michigan, to try to browbeat and guilt trip black men into supporting Kamala Harris, a woman who only until now even bothered to identify as a black woman, a woman who, as a prosecutor, put many people that look like me and probably you listening to this video behind bars, hid evidence that kept men behind bars whom they knew were innocent. According to one of these victims, he said Kamala laughed in his face as he was sentenced to, what was it, life? No, it wasn't life. It was a lengthy sentence. I can't remember if it was life or whether it was amended or something. But I know that he was sentenced to a crime for something he didn't do. He locked eyes with her and said that she laughed at him. Now she's cosplaying as some black, community organizer / civil rights beacon icon, feminist, whatever. Woman's a fraud. So Michelle Obama went out there and tried to make a case for why we should support her. First of all, let me say this. I've always defended Michelle Obama because she has, and it's not because I agree with her policies and I have a problem with her husband, and I've made that perfectly clear. The reason why I've always defended Michelle Obama is because I always felt like she has a revulsion to politics. And anybody that has a revulsion to politics has to have some sort of conscience, has to have some sort of understanding about, the wretchedness that's involved in the games that they play. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I think she believes in a lot of the wrong things. But up until last night, I've always defended her because of the fact that anybody that's the enemy of the people who I loathe cannot be that bad. At least I thought in my mind. I've always heard people, the wretched filth of this society, the most racist individuals in the society, always play into the racist trope that black women are not really women. Black women are masculine semi-men. You notice they always do this, is she really a man crap to black women. You even starting to see some idiots do that with Angel Reese, when Angel Reese is the most feminine woman you can find in WNBA. But it's always a sneaky way of attacking black women. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't apologize for this. I don't back away from my blackness nor my allegiance to my people. It might be the cool thing now to sit there and say, oh, I don't look at race. Well, guess what? Every other fucking race does. But, maybe I was showing my naivete because it seems like every time any of us pro-black brothers and sisters step up to the plate and defend one of these individuals, we always get double crossed, We always get betrayed, and we always get thrown on the bus. Her husband threw us on the bus 2 weeks ago, and he just threw her the baton. Matter of fact, he never apologized for what he said because he meant what he said. He just threw her the baton, and she just pretty much articulated what he said without saying brothers or black men. But yeah, she threw us on the bus. Talking about, what was it that she said? Look at the exact phrasing. She said black men, well, she said men need to stop voting or stop taking out their anger and frustration on women. Now, who could she possibly be talking about? They're talking about the angry black man who is mad at the world and mad that things aren't going right and taking it out on the women. Is that what that is? You know what I'm saying? Is that what that is? Stop looking at women as baby-making vessels. Misogyny. Who gets accused of being misogynist more than black men? Okay? She talked about how voting is a private matter. Now, that was a coded message to white women because white women have, for a long period of time, white women have always felt as though they were obligated to vote lock and step with their husbands. Oftentimes, men tend to be the most passionate when it comes to politics. Not saying women don't have their opinions, but women often felt traditionally that voting as their husbands did was their duty, their wifely duty, as the men are supposed to be the leaders, except for in the black community, because that's been destroyed by these Democrats. The Democrats have destroyed our community and don't apologize for it. Matter of fact, they're proud of it. They've rewarded black women, the black women who have championed this destruction of our community with singlehood, lack of family. I mean, think about it. They've brainwashed millions of women into thinking that deleting in life is a proud birthright. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. I know it's a very touchy subject, and I do believe in a woman's right to choose, but to glorify it or champion as if it's some a great cause to fight for. What about the who's going to fight for these babies? Don't a healthy baby deserve at least a chance to live? I'm sorry, I'm never going to champion that. And that makes me sound like a dinosaur, then roar, motherfucking roar. I don't think I'm the only one that thinks like that. But that's what she means by private matter. That ladies, white women, because they're the ones who have been voting by pluralities or majorities for Trump, she's trying to pressure them into, oh, you can vote for us, it's safe. We champion the right to choose. But I'm going to tell you something, man. I think this whole issue with a woman's right to choose is being overblown. And it's becoming annoying because they always talk about how they're the party of high ideals, but they've become, during the Obama regime, the party of gross identity politics, whether it's gender, whether it's anti-religion versus religion, whether it's race, whether it's some of these other alphabet-y issues. They've completely ruined the Democratic Party. And they try to, and the thing about it is, if you have your grievances with the party, they'll give you that line where, oh, well, look, this is bigger than our grievances. Donald Trump is the threat. Look, can you guys give me a concrete reason to support Kamala Harris other than this boogeyman tactic, which is not going to work on me? Because one of the people who is supporting Kamala Harris, Mitt Romney, you guys told me 12 years ago he was the boogeyman that was going to put all of us in chains. Isn't that what you said? Now you welcome his support. You welcome Dick Cheney's support, a guy that y'all call Darth Vader. It's all a big game. Look, if Donald Trump does get elected, right, the guy that they're calling the next Schickelgruber, they're warning you that he's going to be Adolf Schickelgruber. When he gets elected, if he gets elected on election night, they're just going to congratulate him and call for unity. That doesn't sound like a people who feel like an oppressive dictatorship is going to come in and take away all our rights and privileges. It's all a con. That's all this is. It's a con, man. And I'm surprised. I'm very surprised and disappointed at Michelle Obama in this situation. By the way, where's Joe Biden? Joe Biden, where is he? You know, I think part of it is, you know, Joe Biden feels betrayed by the fact that he was taken out by a coup, a cabal, a Democratic cabal, which consisted initially of Kamala Harris and some few high-ranking Democratic insiders and the donors. Because I think that's Kamala Harris's MO. You know, she uses men to get gain a foot when it comes as far as leverage and power, and then she snakes them. She does it. That's her pattern. She's a snake. She did that to Willie Brown. She did that to scores of other men. Use them, do whatever she got to do to attain power, and once she gets that power, she snakes them, just like she did Willie Brown. Then she bring him up on charges. This is the same dude that was her main he was her main squeeze, and look what she did to him. Barack Obama, Joe Biden. He picked her while being pressured, by the way, but that was the whole thing. It was all a scam. They knew to legitimize Kamala Harris, they had to get her into that office. And so they used Joe Biden. They used Joe Biden. They pressured him to pick this woman who truly was a DEI hire, used her to fulfill some identity, self-glorification project. They had Kamala Harris be the acceptable nominee because she's only the second so-called black woman to be elevated to the Senate, United States Senate, after Carol Moseley Braun. And after that, they were going to pretty much try everything they could to get Joe Biden out the way, which they have. And I think part of this is Joe Biden and Jill Biden are pissed. That's why you haven't seen Jill Biden campaign for Kamala, because they both feel betrayed. But also another part of it is they don't really mind as much because they don't want you to be reminded that Joe Biden has a 40% approval rating. He's not very popular at all. You know, they're not running on the record. They can't. They have nothing to run on. Nothing. So they're running on Donald Trump is the big bad boogeyman. That's what they're running on. He's the big bad boogeyman. That message might be a little bit more effective if he hadn't been president already. And yet we did have a national pandemic and we did have an economic collapse, but that was a global collapse. All the countries in the world suffered at the hands of the pandemic. He didn't start it. He fumbled the goddamn bag when it came to dealing with the situation, and he did politicize it. And he should never be let down off the hook behind that bullshit. But let's not forget that the Biden administration, the same Biden administration that claims that Trump is a dictator and they are the justices, a beacon of democracy, they put in place a candidate nobody voted for. And not only that, they forced millions of Americans to take the jab, or you suffered harsh penalties, including fines and maybe even losing your damn job. Doesn't sound like a democracy to me. You try to tell me. This woman has ducked smoke constantly. She does nothing but softball interviews. She's doing an interview right now with Shay Shay, right? And it's not even an interview. It might as well be a campaign commercial. Might as well just be a campaign commercial. It's ridiculous. I heard Michelle Obama lament, why is this race close? Maybe it's close because your party no longer reflects the values and ethics of normal and rational thinking Americans. Not to mention the fact that you destroyed your party since Daddy Lyndon Johnson, back in the mid 1960s, destroyed the black community. And you make no apologies for it. You whined and bitched and moaned about why is Kamala held to a higher standard than Trump? Well, first of all, nobody voted for her. Secondly, isn't she running against somebody that y'all call Adolf Schicklgruber? I say Schicklgruber because I don't want to trigger YouTube censors with saying his actual last name. Schicklgruber was his family's name before his father changed it. So you're saying that you're running against a guy named Adolf Schicklgruber. Shouldn't you be held to a higher standard since you claim that you have the moral high ground over him? And also, as a black man, as any man, any person, you have to earn my vote. You don't own my vote. You have to earn it. I'm tired of us constantly screaming until we're blue in the face, even though it's hard for me to do, being my complexion, but you get the expression. Screaming until I'm blue in the face, talking about why we're not supporting you. And instead of sitting down and listening and saying, well, what okay, let me hear what you got to say. No, you browbeat us and tell us, fuck what you're feeling, do as we say. All you're doing is pissing off millions and millions of men. So if there's a gender divide within the Democratic Party, you're creating it. You're creating it, Michelle. You're creating it. So look, at the end of the day, in my opinion, I feel betrayed by Michelle. I'm ashamed that I ever supported her. As far as like if she ran for president, that's out the window. Because now I see that she is totally bought into this disgusting feminazi ideology that turns off so many men. I don't give a damn what they say about her now. They could call her they could all the big Mike stuff. I don't give a shit now. Fuck it. I don't care. Don't care anymore. And all the acting in the world, the fake crying to try to, make men feel guilty. Women use their femininity to try to make us feel guilty and make us feel like, okay, I'm going to vote one more time. I just, don't cry, baby. No, that shit ain't working on me. I'm hardened to the core. It is not going to work on me. I already voted for Dr. Cornel West. It's my right to vote or not vote if I choose to. And I advocate that you do the same. And for the few ladies that have rolled with me, that haven't abandoned me because for the one time I said no to a woman, I love you. Thank you for staying a subscriber to me. And for all of you who abandoned me, and I know some of the notable names, don't try to come back to my page come playoff time or later this season when election is over and I'm going in on LeBron James. I remember the names. I'm going to block you because you disappeared, you ghost. All because you got up in your feelings because I didn't support your candidate. That's all I got to say about it. I'm disappointed in Michelle Obama. Tell me what you guys think.